Okay guys, so in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint with watercolor. And I know that we kind of already covered this in your class before, but this is important because I want you to learn how to blend colors and how to properly mix colors. And watercolor is a great example for this. If you are my new advanced art students, which I have a couple of you, primarily this year what we're going to be spending time focusing on is me teaching you all how to paint because you all are in 7th grade, or at least the majority of you are in 7th grade, and next year I really want you to have a good understanding as to how to paint. And watercolor is a great way to introduce you into this because it's so fluid and easy to blend. So what we have here, we have a 9 by 12 piece of paper, which I will give you, and I have this taped down to the table. You will actually be taping this down to a clipboard, which I'll also be providing you with the tape. Now, it doesn't really matter how even this is. I just have this sectioned off into 3 sections. You will need to do that too. And we're going to go ahead and start with the painting. So first off, what you want to do, let's put some water down first all over this section here, and we just want to make sure that it is covered. Okay, now with watercolor, as I've mentioned to you before, if you remember the watercolor lesson, you paint with the pigments and not the you paint with the water and not the paints. So what you do is you take some water off to the side right there, as you can see, and then you take whatever color you want, and we are going to be mixing a purple to a blue down through here. So let's start with a purple, which is right here. We're going to mix that in with the water here, and as you can see, we now have a nice, really deep, rich purple, and I'm just kind of brushing the brush into the purple, dipping it into the water, scraping it off there, and going back in with some more pigment and letting my brush pick that color up. And then we're going to go in here, and as you can see, it's seeping down into where the water was. Now this is not at a slant, it's just going down with the direction of the water. So this was a little bit watery. I'm actually going to go in with a little bit more pigment. I'm just going to soak it up with the brush. I didn't dip it into the water first. I'm going to put it right up here and go back and forth. And that's kind of what I want you to practice. You notice how it got darker and it's going down and getting lighter. That's why we're working with watercolor first. So I'm going to rinse off my brush. Kind of drag it on the side of my cup here so we can scrape off some of the excess water. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to go into blue. So just right down here, scrape some off to the side, go right back into it again, back and forth. And then I'm going to take this color, I'm going to right there. And I'm just going to go back and forth with the brush, just using the bristles, not really applying too much pressure to it. And I'm just dragging it from one side over to the other, going back and forth, just barely touching it with the bristles and letting the bristles do all the work. And as you can see, we now have a very smooth transition going from the purple to the blue. And let's just run that on down through here. I'm going to go into some more dark blue right there. Transition that into the purple going up. And then we're going to run it right back down. And as you can see, we're making a very smooth transition. That is what I want it to look like. And whenever this dries, it's going to look more vibrant than just that. But I want you to try to focus on that with these over here. So what colors do you want to do in here? It doesn't really matter. You can go from red to yellow, have some orange in between, but try to pick colors that are close to each other on the color wheel. For instance, purple is next to blue on the color wheel, and we're making the transition going from there. So in both of these two right here, I want you to do another color. So something else other than purple to blue. Put down water first, put your color up here, put your second color here, blend it all the way down. Alright, and in the next video, whenever this dries, we are going to go back over it and add some sceneries and make it look really pretty. Alright, try this out. you'll probably be able to get this done today. We need it to be completely dry, so we'll be able to start it tomorrow. If you get this finished and you still have time left over, you're free to work on your own projects. Remember that whenever you clean up watercolor, you do not clean the wells. You just sop up the paint or the water here. Just sop it up and you're good. All right, thank you all. If you have any questions, let me know.